This week on Hobie Outdoor Adventures, professional bass tournament angler Mike Iaconelli is joining us for a day of fishing on a truly amazing new product. We're in Georgia fishing for bass and crappie, and Mike's getting to try Hobie's award-winning Mirage Pro Angler 360, a product that takes kayak control and maneuverability to the next level. The 360's kick-up fin technology protects the fins and provides unrivaled power to charge through water without a worry in the world.
Louisiana redfish at its best. Florida Keys bonefish on the Hobie. My goodness, dude. I told you that was a good fish.
Welcome to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. Well, we're in southern Georgia at a newly opened lake called Tired Creek Lake. Hobie rep AJ McWhorter meets up with professional bass tournament angler Mike Iaconelli, also known as Ike, to have some fun on the water and also try out the new Hobie Mirage Pro Angler 360 series.
We're down here in Bainbridge on Lake Seminole, just down from Lake Eufaula on the Chattahoochee River, and that is where the next Bass Pro Tour MLF event for Mike Iaconelli was going to be. And we started looking at our calendars and schedule. He was down here for an extra day, and we were as well. So we took an opportunity to get on just an awesome, really unique fishery that really set up great for kayaks.
I'm really excited. To be honest with you, I can't even sleep. You know, I come out and I'm trying to prepare for what I might encounter in this lake. You know, the interesting thing, the great thing about kayak fishing is you don't need a lot of stuff. And I'm getting the bare bones equipment prepared for this trip. I've got 4 rods, 3 casting, 1 spinning, and I'm just taking the basics for what I think we're going to encounter, which is pre-spawn, you know, fish that are preparing for the spawn but are moving, staging fish. So I load up the tackle bag, 4 rods, and I'm ready to go. So AJ tells me we're fishing this lake called Tired Creek Lake. But when you look at it, you know, first thing I did is I got on my phone and looked at it on satellite imagery. It's got 3 distinct forks and it looks like a chicken foot. So forget about Tired Creek. I'm calling this thing Chicken Foot Lake.
Now, in 2010, Grady County, Georgia secured a permit from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to construct a 960-acre recreational fishing lake at the confluence of 3 creeks, which combine to form Tired Creek. The lake has been very closely managed by the state of Georgia, and after being stocked with fish, the lake was left untouched for years until its opening to the public in May of 2018.
You trolling?
I'm trolling.
I love that. It's legal all day today.
As we launch our Hobie 360s and we start making that pedal out toward the dam, I'm starting to get the feeling that there might be too much cover. It's just overwhelming. Everywhere you look, there is a place to hide for these fish. I'm starting to worry just a little, but I'm too excited to think about it right now.
Ike and AJ are heading to the dam overflow, a classic area for holding big fish. Even though it's February and it's starting to get warmer, the cold hasn't dissipated in this part of Georgia, so it makes sense to start at the dam where some of the deepest water in the lake is found.
First one of the day, I got duped. It was close to the bank. You know, the next thing I found was the actual dam area itself and a buoyed off area that keeps boats out. And you can't put your boat past that orange line. But what you can do is you can cast into that area. I make a cast in there, and as I'm dragging this jig along, I feel one pop it. Number 1. Got that sucker that time. Black and blue jig, 1/2 ounce, missile mini flip jig. That's definitely not a 10-pounder, but it could be a 10-pounder in like 8 years, I think that could be a 10-pounder. But it's good. Let me just rub on them. Let me get some of that stink on them. Put it on my beard. There you go. Get that stink going, a lot of times you'll start catching them. And that fish really did tell me a lot. It told me about the mood of the fish. They were a little more lethargic toward the bottom, but it keyed me in on how important this grass was.
Hobie Outdoor Adventures will be right back with more big bass from Tired Creek Lake. Stay tuned. Hobie Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Gerber Fishing Gear, Fish Beyond, Loran's, Find, Navigate, Dominate, and by Power Pole Micro Anchor, swift, silent, secure and small. Welcome back to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. We're kayak fishing with professional bass tournament angler Mike Iaconelli on the beautiful location of Tired Creek Lake in Georgia.
You know, once I caught that first fish, I had a feeling that there might be a concentration of fish there, and there was. And you know, over the next hour, I was able to really continue to catch fish in this small area. Once I got 2 left and I got out of that grass, I stopped getting bites. Once I got back in the grass, I started getting bites again and dragging that jig slowly. And you know, I'm missing some. And again, that's telling you about how lethargic these fish are. Water temperature in the mid-50s, you'd think these fish would be a little more active, but they're lethargic. They're not really one to eat. The other thing is, look how white that fish is right there. You know, that's a good indicator that that fish has been in deep water. Definitely not a big one, but another bite. I think we need to be around grass. They're getting bigger. And that one, look at that. Gone. God, that is such a healthy fish. That fish is only, here's the funny thing about that. Look at the shape of that thing. That fish is legitimately, that's a 14.5-inch fish. But look at the girth on it. Boy, he's like a little linebacker. Look at him. Man. All right, figuring something out here. And then I had an idea to switch to a crankbait. And you know, when you get a feeling, when you get a gut feeling and it's eating at you, you got to trust those instincts. Here it comes. Brace yourselves, folks. Oh, had one hit it and missed. Oh, twice. Oh, get him that time. He hit it. There's a school of them down there. That wasn't the same fish. I got a big school of fish here now. Man, look at this one. Good one. In his face. DT14. In his face. In his face. Look at that thing. It's a good one. It's almost a 3-pounder. And I really thought at that moment that I had figured out the puzzle completely. It had to be grass. It had to be on a sloping bank. They were fish that were down in that vegetation. And when I caught that fish, I thought it was going to be on. But as soon as I landed that fish, it got quiet. That spot sort of went cold. I picked the jig back up. I had one more bite on the jig, but it really started to flatten out. And you know, your mind starts to wander. I've never been here before, so I decided to leave this spot and try to find greener pastures. You know, that's something normally that you do. Whether I'm in my big boat or in my Hobie, you want to stay in search mode.
This fish was tied up against those trees right along this road bed. We marked some other fish here, and we're gonna see what they want. With this sun getting up and the temperature coming up, I think we're gonna see some more fish move into this area. So it's about a 16-incher, and we're gonna let it swim back, see if we can catch another one a little bigger.
Literally the next 2 or 3 hours would be what I call fruitless fishing. You know, not that it's all bad, because when you're not catching, you're also eliminating, but I covered a lot of the lake and just nothing seemed to be working. Nothing was materializing. The only missing element that was gone was that scattered deep hydrilla. So I make a decision about halfway through the day to go back to that dam area.
Well, after the break, we'll find out if Ike makes the right decision. The search for a 10-pounder continues. Stay tuned. Hobie Outdoor Adventures has been brought to you by Railblaza. Hold everything with Railblaza. Hobie Polarized. Trusted, quality, heritage. And by St. Croix Rod. Best rods on earth. Welcome back to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. Now, after trying varieties of techniques and baits and covering a lot of lake, nothing seems to be working. So Ike and AJ decide to go back to the dam where they've caught a good amount of fish, hoping that they'll find big ones hiding in the grass.
It was a good decision because after hours of not even getting a bite, as soon as I get back to the spot, they start biting again. But I switch baits. You know, I felt like they saw the jig, they weren't biting the crankbait, so I decided to get Finesse. And I'm just throwing a little purple finesse worm. It's the best way I can describe it. You know, the interesting thing is in drop shotting, normally I'm doing a lot of shaking, like really get that rod tip moving to get that worm activated. But what I'm noticing is these fish are so lethargic that when I throw it, I almost have to let it sit motionless. I can pop it maybe once, and that's how I'm getting my bites.
When you're around another angler and they've kind of got it figured out, you can learn so much from what they're doing on the water. And I had a shaky head rigged up, one of my favorite finesse tactics, and I did the same thing. I got it out into that area where the fish were and just moved it as slow as possible and even just dead sticked it.
We start out this day fishing a dam area, and it's an area that AJ fished the day before. He only got out there for a few hours just to sort of scout to see how it lays out. But in the short time that he fished there, he caught like a 9.5 pounder right off this dam.
I went out to this lake. It was a beautiful day out there. The bite wasn't great, but I had an opportunity to hook my personal best bass. It was pushing 10 pounds and went 25 inches. We were fishing in 25 foot of water with a jig, you know, and I didn't really expect that we'd be doing that, but we found some fish on our Lowrance units, and they were deep, and we fished that cover, and we made that big bite happen. It was an amazing experience.
I can tell you this about pre-spawn bass. An instinctual movement for fish is to go from deep water to shallow spawning flats. They have to do it. It's biological. It's in their DNA, so we make a big, big pedal all the way to the back, and we start near a bridge, but it just wasn't happening. But at the very end, I did find another area back there that had a little bit of hydrilla. And knowing that's the only game in town, I decided to fish it.
There's a good one. A better one there, huh?
The interesting thing about this area hydrilla is it was shallower and it was scattered with bushes and trees. And this was a great platform for me really to showcase why this 360 is so good, why this 360 is game changing. Because in this scenario, I'm having to get this 12-foot Pro Angler Hobie in these lanes. I mean, almost literally making a turn around a bush and a tree to stay in these little lanes of trees and bushes and hydrilla. You know, this thing is as close to a foot-controlled trolling motor for your kayak as you can get.
The new Hobie Mirage Pro Angler 360 series is everything elite anglers are looking for in a fishing kayak. Total control, power, stability, performance, stealth, comfort, and feature-rich. Its wide, rock-solid standing platform can be decked out with a noise-dampening EVA traction padding. Explore where you want to go with the all-new kick-up fins that automatically retract upon impact. For more information, go to Hobie.com or check it out in person at a Hobie dealer near you. Up next, our special guest Wes Meadows from Real Money Team Trail is taking Kevin Nakata out for crappie fishing. It's going to be Wes's first time riding in a Hobie kayak. Hobie Outdoor Adventures has been brought to you by Daiwa, advancing the sport of fishing, Scotty, the way to fish, and by AFTCO, American Fishing Tackle Company. Welcome back to Hobie Outdoor Adventures. We're back for kayak fishing on Tired Creek Lake, but today we're targeting crappie instead of bass.
All right, Wes, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Hey, man, we're on this lake. It's called, what is it called?
This is Tired Creek Lake.
And you got a lot of crappie on this lake, right?
There are quite a few.
Yeah,
quite a few.
We're going to be using our brand new Hobie Pro Angler 14 with the 360 Mirage Drive, so you're going to be able to turn all around and do all sorts of crazy different kind of trolling methods that maybe you use. And I'm pretty excited to see what you think about this being your first time. So, and you said you're going to use 4 rods at one time?
Yeah, I'm going to use 4.
And you got yourself a special rig over here, right? You've got this bar.
Yeah, I put
this
2 Millennium pole
technical.
holders. I just zip tied them to the boat, but I'm gonna put 4 out just because I've never fished out of a kayak. I usually pull with a 16-footer, a 10-footer, and a 5-footer.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. You know, I saw that you're squinting a little bit in this bright sun. This is called the El Matador, and you can see it's got little blinders basically on the side here. This is going to help you. So here you go, your brand new fresh.
Well, thank you.
Those are yours.
I think I'll utilize them today.
Yeah.
How about that?
That sounds good. All right, well, let's go fishing and see what you think about kayak fishing and see what I think about crappie fishing.
Let's try it out.
All right.
We're right now trying to get everything set. We're going to try to go somewhere around 1 mile an hour. We're pulling jigs. About 20 foot is what the target range is.
How do they bite? They pretty hard?
No, you'll know your pole will just go down.
My Elite 9 Ti is lit up like a Christmas tree. It might actually be Christmas trees down there. But I guess there's crappie below us and they're all schooled up.
There's one.
There we go. Yeah. Oh, hey, what we're looking for.
Kind of lay them in your lap and steer with one hand.
Yeah, I'm doing it. That's what I'm gonna do right here. My crappie experience is extremely limited. I have only mistakenly hooked them when bass fishing. So I have rarely ever targeted crappie. Hey, there's a crappie. Look at that little lure sticking out of its face right there, his little mouth. All right, let's go ahead and get this guy back to his home. And hopefully he escapes the bass that's probably down there. Uh-oh, I got bit. I'm on here. Oh, that's a little better. That's how you do it.
Nice, dude.
That technique works really good. I wonder if I have 8 rods out, I'd probably have all 8 hooked up on that school right there. See you later, dude. There he is. I got him. Yeah, that's a little better. Ooh, what happened to you? That's my biggest one of the day so far. All right, buddy. What do you think about going back to the water? Really good idea for you? Come on now. All right.
Not very many of those out here get that opportunity. He's coming in hot.
Oh, got him. That's awesome. Oh, there it is. Oh, dang. That looks bigger.
That feels like a pretty good one. It's pretty relaxing. You know, I was nervous for a guy my size of being down this far in the boat. I'm cool, and I love to bass fish too, but I don't like bass fishing out of a big boat all the time, and I could see where this could be really stealthy in the springtime of the year. You know, I could get into some shallow spots, red fishing, trout fishing that I couldn't ordinarily get my big boat into, so I really like it so far. It's very relaxing.
Look at that. That's the biggest one of the day.
That's the best one of the day.
Come on, I think I got one too. Well, thanks, Wes, for taking us out and showing us around your local haunt here. Definitely got a lot of crappie in this lake.
Man, I really enjoyed it. We probably ended up catching 25 or 30, maybe 35, I don't know. Most of them probably, you know, 10 to 10 and a half inches, 11 inches maybe some of them. This one's probably maybe a 13 incher. But overall, man, just a great day, a lot of fun. Enjoyed my first voyage in a Hobie kayak, to say the least.
I can't wait to come back.
Yeah, let's do it again soon.
All right, well, let's head home.
You know, I get a chance to come out with the Hobie guys, fish with AJ for the first time. It was a win-win, and I'll tell you this, I'm gonna give you a little secret. I'm gonna be jumping in one of the Hobie BOS tournaments this year. So in a couple months, I'll be fishing again in a tournament with Hobie. So can't wait to see AJ again, and this was a good trip.
So check out the Hobie Bass Open Series, a national tournament series that gives anglers an opportunity to compete for big prizes and cash. You can fish from any kayak, paddle, or pedal. Whether you're brand new to fishing or an old pro, we welcome you to fish with us. Our events are all about the fun and camaraderie of the kayak fishing community, but they also offer an elite platform for anglers to compete. For more information about Hobie Bass Open Series, visit hobiebos.com.
There's some quality bass in this place too.
See you next week on a new episode of Hobie Outdoor Adventures.